I wrote a little song for the occasion. Greg and I go back 33 years, I think. 36, 35, since we were 4. And we've had a lot of good times together. I apologize in advance because a lot of you will not be understanding some of the jokes that are in this song, but Greg will understand them, and that's what's important. Even his parents will understand some of these. So this is the tune of Gilligan's Island.
Oh, yes.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a boy from Bayside, Queens. I'd like to tell some stories, I hope they're not too mean. He went to Bayside High School, wore a light blue tux to the prom. The only girl who looked at him was probably his mom. He and I do lots of shtick, to Seinfeld we refer. In fact, he renamed Ellen Newman. It's funny stuff to her. It's good to see his parents here. We know Marv loves the Mets. His nickname for Todd Hundley was as good as it could get. At Camp Anawanna with girls he made. At Camp Anawanna with girls he made fatal moves. He dated chicks who had no necks, but he finally found his groove. He graduated dental school, went to Lafayette and Penn, but he probably had no idea what would happen then. He became an orthodontist, and in 1998, he married Ellen Bauer. His life would then be great. Then they moved up to Ardsley, bought a home on Jordan Lane, had Sid and Josh. The cutest twins. Got Sammy, our favorite dog. And Lucky, well, he's a real fucking lunatic. Greg, he's 52 now. Not finished. I only speak the truth. He started Ardsley Orthodontics, built it by himself. But you know what really freaks me out? Those mouths up on the shelf. A latte or macchiato at Starbucks does he get? With what he spends there every week, he could pay off the national debt. He used to be an athlete, he just returned to play softball. He met his insurance deductible with all his outfield falls. We saw him rounding second, but on his way to third, he tripped and fell, and a great big scream of shit was all we heard. That's not to say he couldn't play, but he's had better days. He had to have back surgery after getting up from his chaise. We love to go to parties at Gregg and Ellen's home. They've kept 10 companies in business. Why don't they just build a dome? We love Sammy. She's a real nice dog. She never makes us frown. But if it were up to me, I'd have Lucky put down. Lucky's my boy. They make our lives much better. They're friends who we all love. There's Ellen and Greg, of course, and Sid and Josh and the dogs. He may be gray, but I'd like to say, if I may, happy 50th, Greg! I love Lucky.
Hey, Al, you really got your work cut out for you.
All right.
Ellen is.
No, we're not. All right, Eric, where are you?
Take charge, Ellen.
Everybody wanted to get Greg something extra special for his birthday, And because everybody loves you so much, we couldn't really decide exactly what to get. And there's two presents. The first one is a signed Eli Manning Super Bowl football, MVP football. The second one, we couldn't really decide what would be appropriate for you. We thought at this age maybe a walker. But then Ellen came up with a fantastic idea that we're better at the end of the day for you to rest and put your feet up. But everybody chipped in together to get this for you.
All right.
Hey, Greg, seats 3 and 4, we never did get 1 and 2.
Have a seat. Give him a hot dog. Yeah, where's that beer? Good beer, man.
Mike,
Thank you, everybody, for this wonderful, wonderful gift. Okay, now we have Dennis and Al. Woohoo! Come on, you're up. Happy birthday.
Hi, this is Alan. This is good. This is Alan Shapiro, and I'm Dennis Marcus, and we've known Gregg for 40 or 41 years, probably the longest, except for Dr. and Mrs. Fader. And may I remark, you both have marvelous heads of hair. I've certainly known Gregg since 4th grade, growing up in Bayside, and know him the longest, except for Michael and Eric sitting there. And I don't know, I'd like to take a poll in the audience, since every curse word before this, I was told I couldn't say curse words, but obviously, Donald, I can. Are anybody in the audience aware of the website from YouTube, Shit That Girls Say? How many people have seen that YouTube? I thought it would be 80%. Well,
you can't say shit.
Crap that girls say. And there's also a website on YouTube, if you go to it, it's crap that people would never say, and it's pretty funny if you go to it. But Al and I came up with crap that Gregg would never say, because Gregg has a lot of idiosyncrasies, and Al and I thought that these are things that Gregg would just never say. So I'll start, and Alan will go back, and this is the first one. So this is crap that Gregg would never say. Ellen, I'm online looking at our Fidelity accounts, and I have to tell you, I am just making too much money.
Gregg would also say, let's see, that was 2 tee shots into the woods, 3 strokes to punch out, 3 out of the sand trap, 4 putts, put me down for a 14.
I've never seen a man take more than a bogey. The other thing, crap that Gregg would never say, I should have never moved out of the Bay Club.
Gregg would also never say, an iPad, new bedroom set, big screen TV, and lawn care are not business expenses.
Gregg's the ultimate optimist when it comes to sports. He would never say, the Mets are 24 games out of first place at the All-Star break and have no chance in hell of winning the division.
Gregg would also say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Overbite, I appreciate you bringing your daughter Caitlin in for a second opinion, but I have to tell you, that other orthodontist did a great job.
Gregg and I have had many discussions over the year, and I can certainly tell you, crap that Gregg would never say, I am so fulfilled at work.
Gregg would also not say, maybe there is a limit on the number of mulligans. I think that was the cricket one.
Hey, Never say, "Oh, Taliba, you've been on my receptionist at the Scarsdale office for 3 years. Don't worry that you never deposited any one of my checks to Blue Cross Blue Shield. Here's a $15,000 raise and take the day off."
And Gregg would definitely never say, "Those $15,000 in golf lessons haven't really paid off."
He would never say, "Ellen, Josh, and Cindy mean the world to me, and I love them so much, but it is the connection I have with my office staff that really gets my own."
And here's one that Gregg would definitely never say, "I never wanted a birthday party."
Almost finally, Gregg would never say, "No, Ellen, I absolutely will not take care of the kids while you go get a mani-pedi."
And he would also not say, "What is Will Ed?
I think so.
So what if my golf score is higher than my softball batting average? I'm still the greatest."
Okay. Thank you. And finally, crap that Gregg would never say. "I turned 50, and my 100 closest friends couldn't pony up for anything more than cheesy Shea Stadium seats. I mean, they couldn't even chip in for the appearance fee for Rusty Stop, La Grande La Orange, to attend my party."
And lastly, thank God, Gregg would never say, "I didn't think Alan Dennis's toast was funny at all. Why did Ellen ask these two idiots to make a speech?" All right, thank God that's the end of the bad jokes. So Dennis gave me the job of being the sentimental one, because he didn't think he would ever be able to get through a speech of sentiment. So I just have a few things I want to say to Gregg. There's a saying that you can never make old friends. Now, Gregg and I know each other for well over 40 years at this point in time. What's more important is that you can never make old special friends. And Gregg is as special to me as it comes. He is everything you want in a friend, in loyalty, in devotion, everything you could ever want. In an era where it's in vogue to have 500 friends on Facebook that mean absolutely nothing to you, you quickly realize that it's one, or in this case, 2 friends that really enhance your life and make it as special as it's going to be. Now, where's the next page? That's what. Oh, there we go. Gregg and I both made speeches at each other's weddings, as you know, that was what we were doing back then. And they were the same speech. We were basically brothers together, and you know, the bad times would have been worse, and the good times wouldn't have been so good. And what's great about it is it's now about, I don't know how many years we've been married. How many years we've been married? Answer the question.
You shouldn't have to look at your wife for that.
13 years later, and the same holds true. You know, and now it's the birth of our children. It's bar mitzvahs, it's bat mitzvahs. It's the same thing that we share together, and it's just a wonderful thing. And you hope that everyone has those special people in their lives that you can share these special things, and that are as happy for you as can possibly be, and that revel in the fact that you've got good things happening, and are as sad as you are when things go wrong. A few weeks ago, I was going through some old pictures, and many of them of Gregg and I, and various points of our life at camp and at Fire Island, and I was staring at these pictures of Gregg and I, and they're 20, they're 30 years old, and the same thing kept coming to mind. I'm sitting and staring at these pictures, and I'm going, man, has Gregg gotten old? Sorry, there was one bullet. So Gregg, you know, I wish you the best. You know, you're a great friend. I love you to death. I wish you nothing but the best going forward for the next 50 years? Yeah, maybe. We always say we don't want to live that long. But happy birthday, Mazel Tov, you're the best. All right, on that note, I think it's about time to get the party started. So don't just sit down, don't just stare, don't just watch. Bring it to the dance floor and let's get this going. Come on.